Today we're talking about the One Ring and why it got banned.
Waffles in the morning, syrup sweet and slow. Golden stacks are rising, sunrise in the glow. Sticky choice so grand, breakfast on demand. Smile and take my hand in Waffle Wonderland.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Wafflecast. So today we're going to be talking about the recent bannings that just took place. And if you've been living under a rock, well, here I am for you, ready to give you the news. So anyways, we're going to talk about the bannings. We're going to talk about the how I feel about them, what I think they did right, what they did wrong, the financial implications, and where I think the format might be headed. So, excuse me. First and foremost, this is an opinionated content that I am creating. So everything in this is an opinion. None of it is factual other than prices and or dates and schedules from Wizards themselves about play and things like that. But when it comes to certain aspects of this content, it's going to be opinionated. So flame me in the comments all you want. If not, let's have a discussion, right? So if you've been living under a rock, December 16th, which is today is December 18th, they came out with the announcement that they are banning certain cards in certain formats. So Jagatha the Wellspring got banned in Pioneer, Modern, and Explorer, which is basically Pioneer on Arena. They banned it basically because it was in every deck that it could be in, and it was boring and yada, yada, yada. And then we had the One Ring and Amped Raptor banned because, again, same thing, in majority of the field. One Ring being colorless, can be played in every deck. Amped Raptor being that you could power out some very powerful cards on turn 2 with little drawback was one of the main reasons why they axed the Amped Raptor. Now, I thought they would ban Flage too because I felt like that was one of the better cards in the Boros energy deck as well, but it survived. So the One Ring, I feel like they failed miserably with a flavor. It was a total flavor fail. From the printing of this card to the banning of this card. When they printed this card, I believe it should have had a stipulation saying you can only run one of these in your deck at any time. And then when they went to this announcement, I believe they could have said, hey, we're going to restrict it in every format to where you can only run one of it at any given time. But nope, they just said completely banned. And I believe that this is another reserve list type thing where majority of people were crying about it, so Wizards said, hey, we're going to give you what you want. Whether it's the right thing to do or not, we're just going to say, you did this, this is what you get. And then on top of that, with a lot of people crying about, why don't you guys ever unban things? Well, then they came in and said, okay, we'll give you Mox Opal, Green Sun Zenith, Faithless Looting, and Splinter Twin. And a lot of the Facebook groups and Discords and other things that I'm in rejoiced with lots of just so much praise of getting these cards unbanned. As you can tell, I'm very facetious right now and could give two flying Fs about some of these cards. But the One Ring, I feel like it should have been restricted to one, right? But you know what? It's banned. But it is still playable in Commander, Legacy, and Vintage, which I know a lot of people played in Commander. So Commander being the flagship format that it is for WotC, they left it alone out of Commander, which I can see that. That's fine. Anyways, moving on. So Mox Opal, right? We go from having a very fast deck, Boros Energy, and a lot of other fast decks in the format, to now having another fast deck back in the format, which is Affinity. Green Sun Zenith, I get this one. I mean, we have Court of Calling already, and it's not super oppressive. Green Sun Zenith, yes, it fetches out green creatures only, and it costs 2 less than Court of Calling, which I don't think it's going to be that oppressive. Then you have Faithless Looting, which, because of Hogarth, was banned, causing a whole bunch of shenanigans. I don't think we're going to see too many shenanigans. Dredge, Living Death, things like that. Those decks are not that powerful, so Faithless Looting probably still be all right. And then Splinter Twin. Now, for those of you that have played Modern at its iteration, you know, Splinter Twin was a menace. Like that, I hated going against that deck. And it basically came down to, depending on what deck you were playing, did you have enough disruption or counter spells to outlast them? And what I mean by that is it came into at the end of your turn, I'm going to flash in Deceiver Etcharch. And it's like, okay, do you have a way to kill it? Nope. Okay, I'm going to untap and play Splinter Twin onto it. Do you have a response? Yes, I'm going to counter it. Okay, I'm going to play this counter spell. Okay, I'm going to play this counter spell. And whoever could outlast won the matchup. That's basically how that deck played out. So I do believe that Splinter Twin will immediately impact the format. And I do believe that Affinity will immediately impact the format. Now, on what scale are these decks going to be? I think Affinity will stay at about tier 2, whereas I think Splinter Twin will bump its way up into tier 1. I mean, Arc like Phoenix and Pioneer is already brutal. And now we're giving another blue-red deck that is really good into Modern. I believe it's going to be, we're just trading one evil for another. That's how I feel where the format is going. Is WotC is literally just going, okay, we're going to give you what you want. And then when you cry about it, we're going to tell you that you did this, not us. You wanted this, not us. So this whole diversity banning is really just going to shift from one deck to another. That's all it's going to do. And this is my opinion. I could be completely wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, because I don't want to see a Pro Tour with 6 Splinter Twin decks in the top 8. That'd be annoying, because that actually has happened, I believe, once or twice. And not a Pro Tour, but it could be I think it was a GP or some other tournaments. But anyways, I digress. That is where I think the format is headed, right? I feel like it's going to lead to some more staleness and some more crying, and then Wizards is going to have to step in and possibly emergency ban something. But let's hope it doesn't get there, right? Let's hope it doesn't go that route. But anyways, let's go to the financial aspects of this, right? Actually, before we move to financial aspects. No, this ties in with it, so we're going to go to it, right? The One Ring is still at the same price as when I released last week's video. All copies. I looked at all of them. The poster, everything, they're flatlining, right? I think a lot of people are realizing, hey, this is still playable in Commander. Commander is the best format. Why are we selling these cards? Oh, that's right. I'm going to sell a couple extra so I can buy some other cool Commander cards I've been wanting and beef up my deck or bling it out or whatever, because now I don't need 4 copies. I only need 1 or 2 for my Commander decks that I care about. And so I think what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to realize also, like, hey, I don't have any, like me. I want some for my Commander decks, and they're cheap, so I'm going to buy a couple. And so I think this is where we've finally hit that spot where it's just kind of buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, because we're just kind of capitulating. It's just kind of, everything's kind of getting rearranged. People that didn't have them are getting them. People that have a lot of them but don't need a ton of them are giving them to the people that, well, not giving them to, but selling them to the people that would like to get them because now they're on sale. Because the One Ring was at about $100 or more at any given copy or variant that you wanted to buy. Now, as far as Ampdrafter and Wellspring, nobody cares about their pricing. They were already pretty cheap cards to begin with. So let's go into the cards that got unbanned, right? Mox Opal has almost doubled in price. It went from 90 to about 150, 160 a copy. That's ridiculous. Green Sun Zenith, it was sitting at about $9 to $10 a copy. Now it's up to $35 a copy. Splinter Twin sitting about $6 or $7 a copy, all the way up to $22 to $25 a copy now. My advice, or my opinion, is we should wait this out. A lot of people that were hoarding copies of these cards because at any given moment they could be unbanned, they could be reused again, have been holding these cards hoping to make some quick profit. And there are a lot of people that are. And I'm again, not faulting these people for it. Kudos to them. They waited it out and, got to a point where it paid off. Like, not bashing that, right? But what I am saying is it will die down. Okay? I looked into it. The Modern Pro Tour isn't until March 15th in Netherlands. That's 3 months away. The RCQ Modern season is in Q2 of 2025, which is what, April, if I'm not mistaken, which is right after the Pro Tour. So you've got about 3 months to acquire these new cards that have just become unbanned, if you don't already own them. And you have a while to even play them in these high-level tournaments. Now, if you're playing, weekly Modern at your F&Ms, things like that, that's different. But what I'm saying is if you want to be able to build these decks because you don't have these cards, I would say wait it out. Because we have Aether Drift Pro Tour coming up, that's standard. We have the RCQ season for upcoming Pro Tours in Q1, that's standard. So there's going to be a lot of attention shifted from these cards to Standard, to Draft, to Commander, to Innistrad Remastered, to Aether Drift, to all these different things. So based on basic psychology, with the FOMO, when it dies out, eventually that demand is going to be much lower and the supply will start to level out. And so I think Opal will probably come down to about 120. I think Green Sun will come down to about 20, 25 bucks, somewhere in there, maybe 15 if we're lucky. 15 is kind of a stretch. I think 20 is probably more accurate. And I think Splinter Twin will probably drop down to about 12, 15 bucks a copy. So if you wait it out, you can save yourself a good chunk of money, which then in case you turn around and use as your entry fee for the tournament. But that's what I feel is going to happen with these cards after the FOMO wears out, after the supply, because I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that may be like, hey, I've been sitting on my 4 copies and I really don't want to play the deck. I'm going to sell them now while I can make some money. It's just the nature of the beast, right? Again, I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm just trying to give you guys some education on how some of this stuff works if you don't already know. And if you do know, you're probably shaking your head going, yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting. So it's one of those things where just wait it out, guys. Don't buy into the FOMO. It's going to cost you more in the long run because you're going to buy, let's say you buy your playset of Splinter Twins right now and it costs you $100, maybe like $110 after tax. And then 3 months later you look and you're like, dang, I could have bought a set for $60. Like, that's $50 right there. That's a lot of money in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but I ain't got $50 just throw around. But anyways, with the One Ring, as far as financial goes with that, I do believe that card is going to go back up in price over time because of Commander, because of nostalgia and it being the One Ring. It's one of those cards that I'm 99.9% sure it will not be reprinted. One being that it is a card that is under the IP licensing of Lord of the Rings, and that license runs out. So when that license runs out, you cannot, they cannot reprint it and sell it because then they breach that. I believe they breached the contract or some other legality thing, right? Or they got to pay a ton of money to them for doing that or something like that, right? I'm not 100% versed on that, but I know that because, I don't think it's going to be reprinted, is because I don't think they're going to renew the license because they're already saying that they're going to take the packs away from Arena. And Arena is a big source of income for them. And so if they're already cutting those packs away, in June or July when the IP runs out, and you can only craft the cards because buying the packs with gold or gems would reference like actual sales, they can't do that. So because of those two reasons, I don't think it's going to be reprinted and it's going to go up over time. I wouldn't be surprised in the next year or two it climbs back up to $75 to $100 a copy. So my opinion is this is the best time to buy if you don't own any and you want to get a copy of the card. Now be mindful, there are tons of fakes of this card out there. So if you do happen to get a fake, try to get your money back from whatever person you buy it from. Hopefully you bought it through like TCG or, reputable store, things like that, that will honor it if it is fake, or even be able to look at it before you buy it, things like that. But that is my opinions on the format, where it's going, the financial aspects of this banning and unbanning, and just my overall thoughts of what I think about this. As you can tell, I'm a little bit, I'm a little jaded with some of the stuff that's happened, but it is what it is. Like, it's a game. I'm not going to sit here and flame anybody or be mad or go throw a fit or anything. I'm just giving my opinion, right? So that's what I want to hear down in the comments below. What is your guys' opinion? What do you think? Do you like the bannings? Do you like the unbannings? Do you like where things are headed with the format? Do you hate where things are headed with the format? Please, let's have a discussion down below. I'd love to chat with you guys. Love to, interact and see what you guys think. And, this is a safe place. Like, I'm not here to bash anybody. Hopefully you guys don't come in and start bashing people because they think a certain way. Again, a lot of this stuff is opinionated, people. So let's leave it at that. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy each other's company, and let's have a conversation. Because that's where great ideas come from. When people with two different ideas come together and talk, great ideas can spawn from that. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys like I always leave you. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, stay syrupy, my friend.
Waffles in the morning, syrup sweet and slow. Golden stacks are rising, sunrise in the glow.